What's up, my beautiful, darling people on Facebook and it? Well, I'm not on Instagram yet. I got to get on Instagram, but my computer's doing something kind of weird. YouTube and LinkedIn. What is happening, you guys? I want to talk to you today. I want to talk to you something about something that's super important. Hold on a sec. I got to get on. I got to get on Instagram. I gotta do some settings on StreamYard. So as you come in, make sure you, and I'm live on Instagram. There we go. There we go. There we go. Hey, hey. All right. It's your girl Constance, and I'm live today. And I wanted to talk to you about something that is really, really important. But as you come in, as you are logging on, as you are coming in live, um, put in the comments where you're watching from, because I want to shout you out. I know we have people that watch from all over the world, and I want to shout you out and just kind of see where you're watching from, because that's important to me. I want to shout you out and see where you're watching from, and I want to make sure that you are subscribing to the Fly Nubian Queen. This is Fly Nubian Money in partnership with Dr. Boyce Watkins, your girl Constance. And make sure you follow me on Instagram at I am Constance Carter, on Facebook at I am Constance Carter, and on YouTube, CC the CEO. Now, what I'm going to talk to you about is extremely important. And I was really excited about talking about this because I think it's something that really needs to be managed. I did a post not too long ago. So I see people coming in. I see folks coming in. You guys, as you're coming in, please, please, please make sure you put in the comments where you're watching from. And thank you guys for tuning in. But there was something that happened. I did a post not too long ago. All right, bet. I did a post not too long ago, and it kind of did pretty well. I was talking about asset protection and getting a living trust, and it did like a million views, over a million, 1.1 million views on my Facebook page. It's like 700,000 on my Instagram page, and it was like, I don't know, did 40 or 50,000 on my TikTok. Now, typically when I'll do a post, like, the algorithms are all different on all the different platforms. So you can have something that does very well on YouTube and it does nothing on TikTok, or it does well on Facebook but does nothing on Instagram. So this one was pretty important, and I've talked about it time and time and time again, you guys. I talked about asset protection. I talked about a living trust. And so basically what I said on this reel is I said that 12 years ago I moved into an affluent neighborhood. And when I went to just kind of check on the people in the neighborhood, when I went to just kind of check to see who was like, who lives here, whatever, because, speaking to some of the neighbors, I couldn't figure out who they were, because everybody had their homes in a living trust. So, your living trust could be the Smith Family Trust, or it could be, whatever your last name, or whatever you name your living trust. That's what the house's names are in. Okay. So I talked about the importance of having a living trust, the importance of asset protection. And I've been doing posts about it, just talking about your different celebrities that are dying without living trust, different celebrities that have left their families in turmoil because they fighting over their shit, and they didn't have no directives. And if you do a will can be contested. And so that's why it's so important to have a living trust. So I talked about this in the post. Here's the thing, okay? So 8 months ago, I moved to the East Coast, and I moved into another affluent neighborhood. It is one of the wealthiest African-American neighborhoods in the country. And so yesterday I'm walking through the neighborhood. I decided that I wanted to just kind of get some fresh air yesterday. And I'm walking through the neighborhood, and here I go wanting to be nosy again. So I'm seeing, all these big $2-3 million homes. And I'm like, I wonder who lives in this home. I wonder who lives in that home. And guess what? When I pulled up that home, guess what? I was able to find out who owned the home. You know why? Because not one of the homes I pulled up, I could tell you, I think all of them were Black. These were homes that were no less than $1 million. All of them were Black. And not one of them was in a living trust. And so I got to thinking, wow, okay, so when I moved into this, and this neighborhood is much better than that. Yeah, Bowie. This neighborhood is much better than the one that I lived in California. The one I lived in California, I had people who, they had $1 million homes as well. The houses were very, very nice, but they weren't as nice as the one in the neighborhood that I live in now. And so who's that? Who's that? Miss Back. I'm not sure who that is, but I want to impart on you because what I learned, what that taught me right there. Yep, Alicia, that's Prince George's. Yep, I live in Prince George's. And so what that taught me is we are kind of behind. We may have, got to a place where we've gotten money. We may have gotten to a place where we've gotten prestige, but we're still not protecting our assets in the manner in which we should. And you got two aunties over here. And so what happens is you have people like James Brown, you have people like John Singleton, Prince, Aretha Franklin, all those people who have these big estates, $150 million estates, and they have no estate planning. And so there's a problem. There's a real problem here, Black people. And I want to address the importance of why it's paramount that we protect our assets. Number one, if something were to happen, then your property goes in. So if you die and say you leave your property to your children and they want to sell it, now you buy your home, you have property because you want to leave a legacy for your children, right? You want to leave something for your children. And the whole purpose of leaving you leaving a legacy, so the legacy has to be protected. And so the way to really, really, really create real wealth is by creating things for them to be able to receive. Well, if they're unable to, if when you die and the house goes into probate and now goes into probate court and now that takes a year and now, or 2 years, John Singleton estate took 3 years. I think James Brown estate took 15 years. This is all because they didn't have a living trust. Who else was that? Aretha Franklin's took like 7-8 years. All these people, it took all these years to settle their estates because they didn't have proper estates plan. Their estates weren't planned. This is not just for wealthy people, though. I'm talking about everyday people. But my point is, no matter what socioeconomic status you are, we as Black people are behind. We're behind. We're not taking care of our business. So if you just logging on, first of all, I want you to follow me on I Am Constance Carter on Instagram. I Am Constance Carter on Facebook. Follow my YouTube. Follow the Fly Nubian Queen on YouTube, and make sure you share this out because this is so important, especially if you are Black. If you are Black and you either have real estate, you know somebody that got real estate, or you want to own real estate, please share this with all your people because this is so important. And if you just tuned in, I mentioned that I did a video that did very well a couple of months ago. It did like 1 million plus, where I had like 1 million views, lots of shares, right? 50,000 shares. And the reason, and I don't know why this particular video hit so hard, because I've been talking about estate planning and living trust forever, but this particular video did really well. And what I said is 12 years ago, when I moved into an affluent neighborhood in California, because I'm nosy, I went to see who owned what house, like who was in my neighborhood, because I just wanted to be nosy to see who was there, right? So yesterday, 9 months ago, I moved into an affluent neighborhood on the East Coast, which is one of the wealthiest African-American neighborhoods in the country. And I'm walking the neighborhood and I do the same thing. Now I'm walking yesterday. And so I go look up this house, I go look up that house. And guess what? I can see who all lives here, because nobody has a living trust. Nobody is protecting their assets. And what I said is, this is the reason why you see all these celebrities that have it took 3 years, no less than 3 years to 15 years, for James Brown to settle his estate because he didn't have his affairs in order. So I don't care if you have a house, you want a house, or you know somebody that got a house. This is so important, because if we're talking about building wealth, we're talking about closing the wealth gap, it's important that we're putting proper protections in place for our legacies. If we're doing it for our legacies, make sure our legacies are protected, because probate takes a long time. So even if you have a will can be contested. A will is no guarantee that your property is going to be protected in the event that something happens down the line. So I just want to impart on you And this is for Black people specifically. Now, anybody could take this information and do whatever with it because it's good information. But Black people specifically, I want us to stop being reactive and start being proactive. I want, even if you have one property, you ain't got that much money. You ain't got, you don't have like a whole lot of anything, right? Say you have one property and it's $100,000. That is an asset. Protect your assets. You can go to, so the best thing, of course, will go to an attorney, an estate planning attorney. But I've used, and it's ironclad, this company called 299trust.com. 299trust.com. They will do your living trust for $299. And the reason why I use them is because living trusts are like $1,500 minimum, anywhere 15, depending on, how complicated your trusts are. I used to use 299trust.com for me personally when my assets were kind of simple. I just had a few houses, but now there's other things that I have set up for my children. So my situation is a little bit more complex. But if you have a house, if you have 2 houses, if you have 5 houses, go ahead and go to 299trust.com. You don't have $1,500 or $2,000 to pay an estate attorney. Go to 299trust.com. And I am not getting paid from 299trust.com. I promise you. And I got accused of that. People was like, you must be getting something from 299 Trust. I'm not getting paid nothing. I did it because it's a cheap solution for my clients and for my friends and my family. My parents have they got 299 Trust. They trust is set up. But I've seen situations where people have been fighting. You guys know, y'all know, I'm sure you know people that have been in situations where people ain't talking to each other. They haven't talked to each other for 20 years because something happened when somebody died. They didn't get the proper amount of money or whatever. And so you don't want that to happen. My mom always said death and money is like the cause of like super division amongst family. And you want to make sure that your kids don't hate each other when you die. You want to make sure that your family is still hard. It's already tough dealing with the loss of someone. But now we got to go through and we got to figure out what to do with their stuff. And a lot of times people don't see the value of the property. So they want to sell it right away. Okay, we'll give them the opportunity to sell it because the whole reason why you had that property anyway, so that you could leave something to them, leave them a little equity. So I'm just telling you, Black people, I just want to tell you that I want you to go to 299trust.com, tell them Constance, listen, they probably don't even know, but I've sent a lot of people their way. And I've even asked for an affiliate referral or something because I send so many clients that way. But I don't get paid anything. I just want you guys to be protected in any way possible. And that's a way, like a starter way for you guys to be able to protect your assets. But I don't want us to be the last one on the block to get it taken care of. When I walk around this neighborhood and I see all these Black millionaires and I see these Black people with these mansions, it's a beautiful thing. Driving Lamborghinis, McLarens, Bentleys, Rolls Royces. Yeah, all of that. But yet their assets aren't protected. But yet if something were to happen and their family wanted to sell their home, they're going to be in probate just like everybody else. So it's just like, how I think of gentrification. I think gentrification, it's not as simplified as, just stop selling grandmama's house, but it is, because a lot of times we're reactive instead of being proactive. Other people see the value in things that we don't see the value in, and they go for it. You can't blame people for doing that. You can't blame people for taking advantage of an opportunity that we didn't see, and we willing to, fire sell our grandmama's house. You can't blame somebody else for doing that. Now, since they moved in and they didn't fixed up the house, and now they put a Starbucks in your neighborhood, now you want to get mad at them, but you're the one that sold the house. So we have to stop being reactive and we have to start being proactive. Did you change it over to trust after buy it or the moment of purchase? So somebody asked me, did you change over to a trust after you buy it or the moment of purchase? You can do both. What you can do is after you're in a home, and a lot of people be like, a lot of people ask, so I'm sorry, somebody just DM me. A lot of people will ask, well, can I put my home in a living trust if I have a mortgage on it? You absolutely can. All you're doing is changing the name of the title. So here's how the trust works. So the trust, they are now the owner. So there's protections, there's legal protections, and there are also tax protections that you have with living trust. There are tax protections that when it passes from you over to your beneficiary. I can't tell you what that is because I'm not a CPA. So don't ask me about the tax. Not even really the legal part. I can just tell you what a trust can do. Okay. So what happens is the person who is the owner of the home, they now can be the owner of the trust, but they don't own the home. The trust owns the home, and they select who the beneficiary is, the recipient of the property in the event that something happens. So they name the beneficiary. So here's how it works. Like when I have a person, when I have a house that there's no living trust, if somebody says, "Hey, my dad died, I'd like to sell the house." Well, okay, what happened? Is it in a living trust? No. Okay, you're gonna have to go to probate court, and that's gonna take us a long time. And what can happen is, even if there's a will in place, and dad says that this person could have the property, a will could actually be contested. And so your cousin from Alabama could be like, Unc said I could have a house, but even though Unc didn't, they're still gonna have to, go to court and prove. And that's just more time. You never know what could happen. But when you have a living trust, and if it's not done illegally or under duress, right? Because they can be challenged if it's done illegally or under duress. But if it's done, like, so when I have a client that has a living trust, they say, my client Liz, she wanted to sell her dad's house. Her dad died. Next month, her and her sister wanted to sell the house. They wanted to split the proceeds. They had an executor of the trust, which was their dad's best friend. He managed it. He was like, yeah, bet. We put it on the market, we sold it, and it closed in 30 days. There were no issues. It's a very different process when you have a trust as opposed to when you do not have a trust. Okay. So you do not need, you can put it in the trust after you buy it. That's fine. Or you could put it in the trust at the time of closing. That's fine as well. You could do it with their mortgage on it. Say you want to refinance the property, you want to put a new loan on it. Can I refinance it because it's not in my name? Absolutely. So you refinance it as you would normally do, and at the close you would put it back in the trust. The title will be in the name of the trust. That's how that will work. So before I go on, does anybody have any questions about this, about asset protection in general, about just building wealth? And the reason why I'm talking to you about this is because I want to help you to be able to protect your assets. If I'm talking to you about growing your money and not blowing your money, if I'm talking to you about building wealth, then we also need to have these conversations on how to keep the wealth in your family. See, my goal is to close the wealth gap. Right. I did a TED talk. It's called Google That Shit if you've never seen it. I did a TED talk and I talked about 4 ways to close the wealth gap. And so my mission and my goal today in 2023 is to help to close the wealth gap. And I'm doing that by helping Black women. So my mission, my goal, my passion in life right now is to help Black women. My goal, I'm closing the wealth gap by helping Black women to build their net worth of 7 figures, because I believe it's going to affect the entire family, of course. You give a Black woman something, she's going to multiply it. She's going to share it with her community. She's going to help her community. She's going to teach her children. She's going to impart in her husband, and she's going to impart in the community. And that's going to be the game changer. So for that is I have a group called the Net 7 Collective. I currently have a cohort, and they are dope as hell. And I love them. I'm so happy. So we're in our first cohort, and our second cohort will be starting in August. So if it's something that you're interested in, please so I go to my website, ConstanceCarter.com, and click Net 7 Collective, and let's talk about it. Let's interview you to see if you're a fit for the program. All right. But the wealth gap is extremely important. And that's the reason why it's everything. If you see anything on social media, if you're on my personal page, you'll see some shit about my kids because they trifling. But if you're, on my business page, I'm always talking about ways that you can build wealth because it's important. Us being in the game, we've already had all these things against us as African Americans. And so we need something to help bring us ahead. And this is so important. So if you have any questions on any of the things that I said about asset protection, please, put it in the comments box. Let me ask you this. Does any of you have a living trust? Have you had a living trust? Or do you have a question about a living trust? Like, is there something that you don't understand about it? Do you understand the importance of why I've been talking about this for the last few years about, you do not want your kids to hate each other when they die? Because if you don't have this, like I've seen situations, and if you watching, you know who I'm talking about. I've seen situations where somebody died. They still at the kitchen table dead. People in there moving out furniture. Kids moving out furniture. because they like, daddy said I can't eat this my daddy and my mama house. It's 10 siblings and one just thinks that they have the right. Or I've had situations where I have siblings fighting, talking about mama wanted me to have, and nobody knows what mama really wanted because mama didn't spell it out in the directives. So if mama really wanted you to have that, she would have put it in writing. So that's the reason why that's so important. So I want Black people to get on par. I live in this beautiful $1 million community, and nobody is protected. And so it doesn't matter how much money you have, the knowledge is not out there. And so I want you to share this. I want to make sure you guys are sharing this out to everybody you know, because they need it on all different levels. If you have a house, if you want to have a house, if you want to build wealth, it's important that you protect yourself. So if you don't have a trust, as soon as you get off with me today, I want you to go and either contact an estate attorney, or I want you to go to 299trust.com and get that trust set up. And it's a very, very easy way. I think they're established in all 50 states. And they will, it's just like just filling out some documents, and they will send over, it's like 50 pages. Only thing you got to do is you got to fill it out. You got to sign it in front of a notary. You sign it in front of a notary, and then you take it down to the county recorder's office and have it recorded, and you're good. There is a transfer on death deed thing that you can do as well, which what happens is once you die, the property is transferred to whomever you want it to transfer to. And so some people be like, well, I just got to transfer on death deed. That's easier. It's not as expensive. It's, it's really clean, streamlined. Well, here's the thing about that. And that's cool too. Just do something, right? You don't want to go to probate. Here's the thing about the transfer on death deed. If they die before you and you forget to change that, then you're back in the same position. Okay. You're back in the same position. It's still going to go to probate anyway. All right. So I talk about asset protection. I have this thing called the gym membership, the Grow Your Money Club. And so for those who cannot be a part of the Net 7 Collective, because that is for Black women, I love everybody. I hate saying that because I do. I love everybody. I got every friend, but my goal is to help Black women, specifically like to close the wealth gap, but I want to help everybody. So I have this thing called the gym membership, the Grow Your Money Club, where you can sign up and you can get all my content. And we do a monthly training for, I think, $49 per month, and you get everything. So we talk about asset protection. You get a lot of my docs, you get a lot of my training for $49 per month. And if you want to be a VIP where you get, Q&As with me, you can go to, you can be a part of the membership, and that's growyourmoney.club. Let me put that in there. I can't put it on the Instagram, but I can put it on Facebook, growyourmoney.club. Okay. And finally, I want to tell you this. I really wanted to do something special for, the people who need more information. And I mentioned it the other day because there's so much information out there. And if you're new here and you don't know me, you don't know who I am or what I do, or why is this chick talking about this? And, she talking about she living in whatever, just to let you know who I am. I'm Constance. And, I'm just a roundaway chick from San Jose, California, but I just happen to make some, cool investments. I built the largest Black-owned real estate firm in California, and cannabis investor, real estate investor, got some Airbnbs, got some commercial property. And I plan on, since I'm on the East Coast now, I plan on doing a lot more investing out this way. And so, so basically what I am doing, my life's mission beyond the real estate, because real estate is what I'm known for. And real estate, I love real estate. That's my passion. My purpose right now is really helping women, but I just want to help people. I just want to be able to train people and give them as much information as I can to put you up on game, because what I understand is me helping you is not taking anything away from me. It's only enhancing, and it's only building the community. And that's what I want to do. I want to build the community. And so I'm doing a training on the 27th, I'm doing a 3-day free training to show you how to grow your money. It's called the Wealth Mastery. And I haven't even put it out there yet. Well, I guess I'm putting it out there right now, right? What's up, Ilian's World from Hawaii? Eileen's World from Hawaii. Thank you for tuning in. So if you go to if you're on Instagram, click the link in my bio. I think it's the 3-day free challenge or the free training. Yeah, the free 3-day training. If you go on my website on go on ConstanceCarter.com and click on free 3-day training. I want you to go ahead and sign up for that because I got some bombs for your moms. I got some game for you. So that you want to get to that place of financial freedom. You want to get to that place where life is not as hard. My motto used to be nobody works harder than Constance Carter. I ain't trying to work hard no more. I worked hard for a long time. I won't dare say that. I was on a training this morning with Linda Clemens. Shout out to Linda Clemens. I love Linda Clemens. And she was like, nobody works harder than Constance Carter, because that's what a lot of people know me by. Constance Carter ain't working hard no more. She working smarter. I was the one that was, and I had to learn a lot of things the hard way, right? So I was the one in the office, the first one in the office, the last one going home. And, that helped me. I built this really great business and helped a lot of people. But that's not where I'm at. And so I want to help you to learn how to work smarter so that you can build your wealth. Because it's not about, I was telling my son today, my son got it. My son he's really smart, and his resume is like, and when he showed me his resume, I was like, oh boy, who did this? He was like me. I was like, so he got these really great jobs, right? He gets these really great jobs. He's like, got all these job offers because his resume was great. And I was like, boy, and, this is his first job. And I'm like, boy, you ain't even doing nothing. He was like, I can't. And he makes like $25 an hour. He's 18. And he was like, and I said, but that's what it is. When you use your brain power, you don't have to work hard. You work smart. The smart people ain't working hard. And so I want to teach you how to work smart and not hard. Set some foundation, like some upfront stuff. I give you 5 simple steps, but they're not easy. They're simple. They're not easy. So you're going to have to put the work in to build the foundation, but you won't have to take the same roles that I did. I filed bankruptcy in 2009, had a 379 credit score, had foreclosures. When they came to the office to repossess my car, they repossessed my truck at home, like all of that stuff. Like I've been through all of that. I've been homeless at a time. So it's not like and it's so funny because sometimes when I meet people, they be like, oh, I thought you were going to be stuck up. And I'm like, for what? I'm the most down-to-earth person because I just love everybody. And that's another problem, right? My therapist was like, everybody can't come to the penthouse, Constance, because I truly, genuinely love everybody. And they're like, I just thought you was going to be stuck up. And I'm like, for what? Because I filed bankruptcy a few years back. I mean, it's 2009, but it's like, I know what it's like to struggle. And so there's no reason for me to be having airs about myself or being any kind of way, because I know that here today, gone tomorrow. Just like when I filed bankruptcy, I was making $250,000. I was making over almost $250,000 a year. And I filed bankruptcy and I still had more month than money. So money don't make you. Material don't make you. None of that stuff makes you. It's your character. Because the only thing money does is it magnifies whether you're going to be an asshole or you're going to be somebody with a good heart. And what happens if I'm an asshole? Like when I lose all my money, I'm just going to be a broke asshole. Like for what? Right? So, everybody do the same thing. Everybody got to put, they pants on the same way and all that stuff. Money don't make you. And it's so funny because a friend that I met here, in DC, it's a lot of wealthy African-Americans, right? And it's a lot of status people here. I'm going to share a private conversation I have. So she was like, come to this place. It's going to be a lot of movers and shakers, of the DMV here. And I was like, okay, cool. But I'm not impressed by that. I was like, okay, are they nice? And she was like, yeah, but and I'm like, but are they nice? Because them having money don't do a damn thing for me. Somebody else's money ain't going in my pockets, right? So I don't care nothing about whether somebody got money or not. I got my own. So, if you could be real and you could be a genuine person and you're there to help people, God is going to bless you. When my auntie told me when I was 7 years old, she said, you are as equally as important as everybody else. You're no more important and you're no less important because God loves you the same. And I remember saying, even the president of the United States. And she said, even the president of the United States. So that told me right there, ain't nobody better than you. I don't care how much money they got. I don't care what kind of material. I don't care if they got McLarens and Bentleys over here. I ain't got I got a Tesla. And a Range Rover. Like I don't got no damn Lamborghinis. I don't have that. And that's okay, but it doesn't make them, it doesn't make me. So I just want to impart that on you too. And I don't know why God put that on my heart, but y'all, if y'all striving to get it, y'all striving to get this money and do all that stuff, make sure you're the same people when you do get it, because it could be going like that. Then when it's gone, you're just gonna be looking like a dumb asshole that's broke, and that's stupid. Eileen's World said kindness is what matters. You're absolutely right. So once again, make sure you follow me, and make sure you, I know I ranted a little bit at the end, but follow I am Constance Carter on Instagram, on Facebook. And look, I just made an announcement on my personal Facebook page. I said I am changing my name. I'm no longer married, and I have figured out, like, I was trying to change it on Facebook and Instagram, and they will not let your girl change her last name. I just wanted to be Constance or Constance Denise, and they were like, "No, you can't. That's not on your license." And I don't want to be Constance Smith, because that don't ring. So I'm just Constance. So when as I go live and stuff like that, hopefully, I'm normally used to saying Constance Carter. I'm just gonna try to say Constance, and I'm gonna be like Beyonce and Madonna, just Constance. What's your name? What's your last name? It's just Constance. Because there's not other Constances out there. So I'm just Constance. And I told my kids, and I was like, hey, I think I'm just gonna change my, to Constance. And they was like, that's cool. My son was like, can we go back to Smith? I was like, Negro, you ain't no Smith. But anyway, so I wanted to say that. But anyway, I digress. I got all from something else. The free 3-day training. All of this stuff is on my website, ConstanceCarter.com. If you want to be a part of the gym membership, the Grow Your Money Club is a private club where you'll get all my content and all my training. And it's all like online. It's all, self-paced. The Net 7 Collective is for Black women to grow their net worth by $1 million. That's on my website. And then I'm doing a free 3-day training the last Monday. I think it's the 26th or 27th. The last Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's 3 days and it's free. And I think I'm doing it at 12 o'clock Eastern, so 9 o'clock Pacific. And I want you guys all to be on, because I got some bombs for your mom. So share this out to everybody. And, for the people that that you think might need this training, click the link and share it with the people. Sign them all up. Let's get them all on there so I can give you as much game as possible. Okay. So thank you guys for tuning in. I sure appreciate you. And I love you. I really do. Because you didn't have to hang out with me. So I appreciate you. All right. Take care. God bless. I already got off Instagram. Now let me get off Facebook.